What is up, guys? Ash and Jake from A&J Reacts here, and welcome to another video. Today we are predicting our Premier League table for the 2023-2024 season. We're going to start off with our three teams who we believe will be getting relegated. Jake, who have you got going down?
At 20th, I've got Luton Town.
Yeah.
19th, I've got Sheffield United. And at 18th, I have got Wolverhampton Wanderers.
You know what? I think we're very similar. So I've also got Luton Town 20th and Sheffield 19th. My 18th place is Bournemouth. I don't know why they've let go of Gary O'Neill. They've brought in a quality manager, but a manager who's not had experience in a relegation battle in the Premier League itself. There's nothing like a relegation battle in the Premier League. And I think he's going to have to struggle. And that means losing points in 6-pointers. And the Premier League's so cutthroat, I think Bournemouth won't be able to handle it. That's who I've got going down. Okay, we've covered who will be getting relegated. So who have you got narrowly escaping relegation this season?
Okay, so just escaping relegation, I have got Bournemouth at 17th. Nottingham Forest at 16th. And I have Everton at 15th.
Okay, I think that's a good shout. I've got Wolves coming in at 17th. I've got Nottingham Forest, just like you, at 16th. And in 15th, I think after losing their star man in Wilfred Zaha, I think it will be Crystal Palace.
Yeah, we're not too different, so we're roughly around the right tracks there. But who have you got in mid-table, Ash? Low mid-table?
Okay, so in 14th, just one place difference to yours, is Everton. I think Sean Dyche will just steer the ship even more this season, work in the right direction. In 13th, I think having a fantastic first season back in the Premier League will be Burnley under Vincent Kompany. And in 12th, I think they'll struggle at the start of the season, maybe even be in the relegation spot. But once they get their star man back, Brentford with Ivan Toney back will finish 12th for me. And 11th, I think we're going to experience a drop-off season slightly by Fulham. If they lose Mitrovic, it will be Fulham. And obviously, in 10th place, bang on mid-table. I think they're going to recover from how they're badly they did domestically. It will be West Ham.
Okay, that's fair enough.
So, who have you got, mate?
Okay, so in at 14th, I have gone for Crystal Palace. In at 13th, I think with the departure of Rice, it's going to make them struggle a little bit, but they've still got enough talent to stay in the Premier League. I don't think they're going to drop off that bad. I've got West Ham at 13th. At 12th, I anticipate a real great season for Burnley, and they're going to finish around central and mid-table. Brentford, I've got at 11th. I think they're going to be thereabouts, just a little bit worse because, like you mentioned, their star man Ivan Toney won't be available for a period of time, but I think they will still have a decent season. And I have Fulham at 10th. That is my mid-table.
So, quickly going into the next stages, places of 9th and 8th, narrowly missing out on European football, but going above mid-table. Who have you got, mate?
At 9th, I have got Villa. I think with Thursday League football, it's going to have a toll on them. Like, don't get me wrong, they've got a good enough squad, but I feel they're probably going to go all out in the Conference League. And they, for me, are favourites for the Conference League. And I think their form is going to drop off in the league. And at 8th place, missing out on European football, I have gone with Chelsea.
Oh, Chelsea.
Yeah.
I'm going to
They are not making European football.
I'm going to have to disagree with you heavily, mate, because I've just noticed who you've missed out. So I've got 9th place. I think it's going to be Spurs. I really do. I think Spurs are going to struggle. They're going to go for a real rebuild, and I think they're going to have an even worse season than last year. Even if they hold on to Harry Kane, he'll just cover the cracks, I think. And in 8th place, I have got Brighton. I think, obviously, missing out on Levi Colwell, him going in as well. They're going to lose Caicedo. I know they have the ability to find one of the kids from anywhere and just turn them into superstars and sell them for 80, 100 million or so again. But I don't think they're going to have enough in terms of superstar power to really compete and get a European spot. I think they're going to need another season of development and holding on to their big talents. They need to be able to hold on to them if they want to progress as a club.
So who have you got in the Conference League spot at 7th?
Okay, so in 7th place, finishing exactly the same spot as they did last year, I've got Aston Villa. I know they've got a brilliant setup with the manager, some fantastic signings being made, with Pau Torres coming in being the major one for me. A Champions League quality centre-back coming in for them. I just think the teams above them are just stronger. I know they've strengthened themselves, but I think they just needed to even maintain their position. So I've got them finishing 7th. Who have you got?
Enough. I do have at 7th in Conference League, just one place lower than where they finished last year. I do have Brighton in Conference League. It's this this will only be due to the fact that if they keep a hold of Caicedo and the fact that they only lost McAllister, which I think was the real impact player, and I know they also lost Sanchez in between the sticks, but I think they are on course of getting a new keeper, or have they already got a new keeper?
They've already got a new keeper, and he's looking quality, to be fair.
Yeah. So I do think they managed to replace the keeper, and yes, fine, they're going to miss McAllister, but if they keep Caicedo, I think that they have more than enough to still be competing for the European places, and I think that they will gain Europa Conference League football.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really argue too much. I think we both agree that them and Villa are going to be contending. Possibly even Spurs will be contending with that last Conference League spot. I know you've got Chelsea. That's crazy for me.
I just think it's going to be more of the same, because they got rid of so many players, and then they've also brought in a few more players as well. Like, it's not going to gel together that quickly because you keep changing the squad, bringing these new players in. They're still going to find it hard to gel. They're going to do better than they did last year. There's no way they can do worse.
Yeah.
But I genuinely cannot see Chelsea making European football.
If they can get Caicedo to play next to Enzo, that midfield is going to be fighting, and it's going to be conquering a lot of teams in the Premier League, which has led to me putting them in a Europa League spot. I've put them in 6th place. I'm excited by the direction Chelsea's heading. I actually am, because even the stuff by seeing how Colwell's taken John Terry's number, we've seen Enzo take Frank Lampard's number, we've seen Nick Jackson taking Drogba's number. I can see the direction. There's a good sense of positivity in how they've also kept out the dead weight from training with the first team. They've got a whole different set of lads who aren't part of Poch's plans, and Lukaku, Ziyech, training separately from the first team squad. Seeing how Mudryk has looked good in pre-season as well, Madueke as well. I can see them finishing 6th. I'm not going to say they're going to fish Champions League football, but I won't be surprised if they do. For me, they finish 6th. Who have you got finishing in 6th, mate?
I have Spurs.
Oh, yeah. I get it. Purely because of Harry Kane. I think you've put him because of Harry Kane.
Because I think he is going to stay. And I feel they must know, after the season they've had, particularly towards the end, they must know the weaknesses, and they probably must have worked on that. And you look at their quality going forward, particularly. They got some outrageous firepower. Kulusevski is now signed permanently. I'm certain they're going to keep hold of Harry Kane, because Bayern have tried their hardest, but they've not managed to find a way. And I think Son, after last season, is probably going to start the season with fire in his belly, knowing that he did not have the best season at all, and that he wants to get back to his old ways. And then, of course, They got Maddison in the midfield as well. I really think he is going to be what they really need. A bit of creativity in there that can serve the forward, like the forward players. I mean, it is still a question over their defence because they were leaky at times. But I do think they're going to have enough firepower to get back in the European places. And I have them 6th. And then going into 5th, this was really tough for me. I got to be perfectly honest. This was really, really tough for me because there were so many options, so many scenarios I was thinking over in my head. I have gone for Manchester United 5th.
Whoa! What?
And I'll explain my reasonings why. They're still going to have an issue for a striker. I've seen at Højlund, he played for Atalanta. They have just bought him on potential. Because in Serie A, that man has scored 7 goals last season. 7 or 8 goals last season. He is not the striker that they need. And I got to be perfect. If they bought a Kim Min-jae, which they were trying to do at the start of the season, then there would be no worry about rotation and defence and what have you. But if the same situation happens, like Varane and Martinez get injured, they're going to be exposed. And yes, they got a better keeper in Onana. Like he's going to do 100% better than De Gea did in last season. But I just think it's not due to the fact of Man United doing bad. I just think it's going to be because of the teams that I've got in the top 4. They are going to be just a little bit better than Man United and just pick up a few more results. So I have Man United at number 5.
Mate, I don't know what you're talking about. This Man United team have got everything in them to finish Champions League football. I think that goes without saying, right? I don't know, but you look at how they finished with Weghorst up front. They finished 3rd, right? They finished 3rd with Weghorst up front. Someone like Højlund, yes, he's got potential. We haven't seen him proven to be a world-class talent. I'm not going to go above and say that. However, even with him, potentially even playing second fiddle to someone like Rashford, yeah, who is proven to be the main guy now in that team, and I think we'll even see him score more goals, that should further develop their team. You look at also someone like Garnacho, who's had an extra year of first team development. He's going to smash it. The signings they've made has been fantastic, in my opinion. Mason Mount is going to turn out to be a steal. I'm not saying the lad is going to conquer the world and be a world-class player, but I think you're looking at a player on paper who's won a Champions League title, is an England international. He has played Champions League football consistently throughout his career. He's proven to do the stuff their midfielders don't do. Run, chase the ball, be box to box, be a bit vicious, which is what Casemiro brought to their midfield as well in the last season. I think him being added to that would be perfect. And then you look at Onana. A couple of times, I mean, that defence with David De Gea had the best defensive record in the Premier League. So when you add a world-class goalie in Onana with that, I think they're going to be fantastic defensively. And I think, yes, they might not even score as many goals as some of the other teams above them or below them for you. They're defensively, in my opinion, the most solid team in the Premier League. And I'm someone who consistently says it. The best defence wins you trophies, not the best attack. And I think we even saw that last year of Manchester City, where you look at their defence, whether it was Akanji, Ake, Diaz and Stones or whoever, nothing could really get past them. Nothing really. Some of the best attacks can get past them. You look at the second leg against Real Madrid in the Champions League. Someone like Vinicius Jr. was just struggling. Someone like Benzema struggling. Rodrigo struggling. And I think a defence that Man United have and they've managed to build on is still amazing. You look at Martinez, don't look at his size. The man is a winner. The man, they call him a butcher for a reason. He's quality. And what Varane does is he does what Martinez can't do. Deal with the physicality. Be a bit more composed in the head. And I think that combination's been really good. I think the further they can keep Maguire out of that starting lineup is the better they look. And Lindelof, when he's gone in there as a rotation, he's been fine. Wan-Bissaka and Dalot, they've been fine. You look at also the left-back rotation of Malacia and Shaw. They've been quality. So I'm just going to have to agree with you there. I disagree with you there, sorry.
Hey, well, look, that's your opinion. Like, you're entitled to it. My opinion differs. But then who have you got at 5th then?
Okay, now on 5th, this might surprise a few people. I have got Newcastle. Now, I know they did very well last year, had a very solid defence, but coming to the end of the season, they were dropping points a lot, conceding a lot of silly goals. And I think having their marquee signing be someone like Tonali is not needed in their team. I think Italians have historically just not done well in the Premier League, and I think Tonali is just going to turn out to be one of those letdowns again. I'm not saying I think he's a bad player, but I think when you look at the money spent on him, I would have taken someone like Barella instead of him. And when you look at their squad, yes, they've brought in Harvey Barnes, but they need to bring in wingers who are Champions League proven, like top talents. And I think Harvey Barnes is a mid-table quality winger at best. So Livramento was a good signing, but again, depth in a position where they're really strong in with Kieran Trippier. So I don't think they've improved the necessary areas. I think they needed a good left-back. Tierney was linked to them. I don't know why that move didn't happen. I think they needed better wingers. And I think James Maddison was a perfect signing for them, and they've just not gone after him. So I think they've really missed out on him. And I think you look at someone like Eddie Howe, who, yes, for the first time has got them Champions League football, but he's going to now experience having to deal with a schedule where he's got Champions League football midweek and domestic games on weekends. And I don't think they have enough depth to deal with that. That is why I think they'll finish 5th. Will they bounce back the following season? I definitely think so, but I think they'll need to spend big again.
I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, yeah, there's reasonings behind it, and they've needed to strengthen in certain areas. But speaking of Newcastle, that is who I have got at number 4. I just anticipate, I don't think they're going to get it comfortably, don't get me wrong. And I know I've put Man United out, but I think it's going to be narrowly. I reckon it's going to be a real fight for top 4 this season. I think even more so than it was last year. And we saw how last year it was a competitive top 4 race with quite a few teams. But I do think Tonali, yes, that is probably not the position they needed to strengthen in, but he will add a few more qualities to the team. Like, he's a great leader. We've seen that with AC Milan. And, you know, they have a very good defence. And they got a top-notch goalkeeper in Pope. And I think with Tonali added in there, he can also support that back line as well, which is something that he does at AC. And there's just a question whether or not can he deal with the Premier League pressure. And like you said, there's pressure with Italians mostly not doing well in the Premier League. But yet there has been a handful. And I do think Tonali is going to be one of them players that will do well for a Premier League side. And I think they do have a good initial 11 to still remain in that race. And I think they're just going to edge it. So I've got them at 4th. And then at 3rd, I have got the Scousers Liverpool.
Okay.
I think they're going to bounce back. I think that last season really hit them like a ton of bricks. And we've seen it before after they've had a poor season. I think after they won the league title and then Van Dijk had that injury, they had a poor season. And then the season after that, bouncing back. And they still have a lot of them players that were from that season. I think they got enough quality. They've added McAllister. But there's just one thing that I'm questioning. And it is their midfield. And also the whole thing surrounding Trent. Are they going to play him in the DM role? Is he going to remain at right back? It remains to be seen. But as a whole, I do think Liverpool are going to bounce back a lot stronger this year and get 3rd place.
Okay. Well, it's funny you brought that up because my 4th place is another team I think who performed well last year and they're going to drop off. I purely have this down to a couple reasons. Number one, I don't think they have an out-and-out goal scorer. Not even one out-and-out goal scorer in their team. Yes, they share the goal load. However, there will be moments in a season where you will just need someone to step up. And I don't think they have an out-and-out player who's going to come up and do that yet. I'd like to be proven wrong because they've got some fantastic talents in there who I really like. But in 4th place, I've got Arsenal. They've made some fantastic signings. Declan Rice is a great signing. Timber's a great signing. I think Gabriel Jesus and his injury problems and the fact that he just hasn't been able to score, become a predominant goal scorer in that team is what's going to weigh them down. That accompanied with the fact that this team has just a reputation of just crumbling in the last 2 months of the season is what's going to cost them from probably dropping from maybe even second to fourth. Because I've got it, like you said, I've got it very tight in that top four. And I think the only thing that won't be tight is who's going to be first place. I think second, third and fourth will be very close. And I just see Arsenal dropping points near the end of the season. Maybe if they go on a Champions League run, dropping points and finishing fourth. Now, third place for me, I agree with you heavily. I think Liverpool are back in there. Purely because they have made two fantastic midfield signings for me in Szoboszlai and McAllister. I know they haven't been as active as other teams, but those two acquisitions are absolutely sensational. McAllister goes under the radar so much, but he's an absolutely quality player. He does a lot of the things that the midfield needs in Liverpool. And when you look at Szoboszlai, it's like they've gone and replaced Milner, but not the 30-odd-year-old, 35-year-old Milner. They've gone and replaced him with a Milner that we saw at the very start of his Liverpool career and in his Man City career. Someone who's box to box, does it all, quality deliveries inside the box, excellent with set pieces, just engine, brutality, everything. Szoboszlai does that, and he has the quality in the technical aspects. I think he's been a fantastic signing. Again, a signing who Newcastle could have made and improved themselves. And I think when it comes to the recruitment at Liverpool, 9 times out of 10, they just get it right. And I think this coming season, we'll also see Mo Salah be Mo Salah, step up when his team needs him. We're also going to see Darwin Núñez and Gakpo grow from their first seasons. Will Darwin live up to the 10 million potential that we have for him? The fee that was paid for him? No, he won't live up to that. But I think we'll get more goals out of him. Gakpo as well. I think Jota will have a very good season this year because that boy, whether he plays good or bad, he gets a goal and an assist. And I think that goes so underrated when you're looking at a top 6, top 4 side. And then you look at how they've maintained players like Trent, whether he plays midfield or not, or at fullback, he's Trent. He's quality. He will create. He will do a lot going forwards. They'll also have Alisson, by far the best keeper in the league, still in my opinion, in between the sticks. You've also got Robertson. Van Dijk, will he drop off? I don't think he'll drop off hugely, but he'll drop off slightly. My whole thing with Liverpool is I think they're still not done in the transfer window. They're still after Lavia, another holding midfielder. I could see them signing another 2 players, really. But I think it's going to come down to one thing. They have got, in my opinion, the top 2 best manager in the Premier League, maybe even the best. With the tools he's been provided and how he's managed to just achieve the success he has at Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp for me is the best. And I think he will be the sole reason why they go out and achieve Champions League football again in 3rd place. Now, this takes us both to the top 2. Although, I think we both have someone in 2nd place. I don't think it will be someone, for me at least, it's not someone that's very close and is going to fight Man City to it. Spoiler alert, I don't know about Jake, unless he's high. I've got Man City winning the league. It's just not going to be a question again. They're just going to do it. They've got Haaland, the best player in the league. They probably have the best midfielder in the league in De Bruyne, if he's healthy. They've gone and added probably the best young centre-back out there with a world record fee on him in Gvardiol. They've gone and lost Gundogan and replaced him with Kovacic within a day. That team is a well-oiled machine. They've lost Mahrez, and Cole Palmer turns up in the Community Shield and bangs a screamer as if they've just gone and replaced him as well with just an academy player. Man City will win the league for me. Are they winning the league for you, mate?
It's funny you should say that. Yes, of course they're going to win the league. Like, I honestly anticipate them winning it for probably the next 3 years. Like, it's just slowly becoming more of just a one-horse race, just Man City just being there. Like, I mean, if this keeps up, yeah, the Premier League is going to turn into a French league, I'm telling you. The amount that they're winning it and how comfortably they're winning it. But we are going to differ in the second place teams because obviously you're going for United.
I've gone for Manchester United.
United second, and I've gone for Arsenal at second. That is what we had, guys. Our Premier League table predicted for the 23-24 season. And don't forget to comment your thoughts on who you think will get what place, who you think the champions will be, who's getting Champions League, etc. Let us know in the comments below, guys. And if you enjoy this content, do subscribe to the channel. Come join the A&J family, guys. You will not be disappointed. This has been Ash and Jake from A&J Reacts. We love you all. Ciao, ciao.